What's up, guys and gals? Curve21 back at you again with another Nightmare Cup video. In this video, we're taking a look at the first Silph tournament that we have entered this month. Our team is at the very bottom row: Curve21, Toxicroak, Shiftry, Alolan Raichu, Claydol, Skuntank, and Hitmonchan. What do you think we're going to bring? Comment down below. I'll see you in the very first battle. Here we go. Okay, so here we go into round number 1. Sorry guys, it's game 2 because I accidentally forgot to record game 1. I was so nervous going into this game. It was up against one of my friends, Nasuda. He's invited to the regional tournament over in Cincinnati. If you see him there, say hello. But he's a very good player, and he actually taught me something about the matchups. The two best people in the room will get matched up in the first round, and that's why we got matched up. So we're going to take a Shiftry because it ends up beating 3 of his Pokemon, his Umbreon, Bronzong, and Raichu. His only 2 Pokemon that beat us are his poisons, so we're going to bring Toxicroak to cover them. And then we need kind of another answer to his Bronzong and his Raichu, so we're going to bring our ground type with Claydol. Hopefully he can get a nuke off sometime in this battle and just get an Earthquake to just devastate his opponent's team without any shields. But we're going to lead off with Shiftry because it has probably the best matchups against Nasuda's team. And he's going to lead off with Bronzong. Good matchup for us. So we're going to be able to race his Bronzong's Confusion to the charge attack. We're going to get off Leaf Blade to burn his shield or take a big chunk out of his life. He's going to use the shield and duck out. Good advanced strategy as we discussed in our last video. But we're going to switch over to Claydol and trap his Toxicroak into a bad matchup. No need to shield that Mud Bomb right there. We're going to be able to take him out with just fast attacks only. So here we're going to get off a Gyro Ball to burn his shield or take a big chunk out of his Shiftry. Good play there. No need to shield that. We bring in our Toxicroak to knock out his Shiftry, and he's down to 1 Pokemon, Bronzong. We're going to burn his last shield with a Mud Bomb, and now we're up 2 to no shields in a favorable matchup, but we're both at very little HP, and he gets a Heavy Slam off. We're going to attack him. He gets another Heavy Slam off. And are we going to be able to take this game, guys? We end up taking it. And that's actually very similar to how the first game went. So there wasn't, that big of a problem with me forgetting to record it. I'm sorry. I'll try to remember the next time, but that's basically how the first game went as well. We took the same teams, both of us, and it ended up being very similar. So here we're going into round 2, game 1 against BloodDragon. He actually told me before the tournament he just threw this team together last night because I told him about the cup. And we were talking about how Spiritomb's a very good Pokemon. He watched my video on Chimecho. I told him that Toxicroak's very good, Raichu's very cheap, and Lucario is a good cheap Pokemon if you compete in the Kingdom Cup. So those are some of the Pokemon that he brought. In this battle, I'm going to be taking Shiftry because it beats 4 of his 6 Pokemon. The only Pokemon that he does not beat are his 2 fighting types, Toxicroak and Lucario. So what we're going to bring to beat those are Toxicroak. Oh, but we're going to switch it out. We're going to run a little bit something fun. We're going to bring our Hitmonchan just because he hasn't gotten the love yet in this video, and we're going to bring something a little bit different. He can handle the Lucario, and we're going to bring our Claydol to handle the Toxicroaks. If our opponent brings both, that's just fine. If he only brings one, we'll save the counter for later. So we're going to start off with our Shiftry. He's the main Pokemon that we want to use in this matchup to knock out 4 of our opponent's Pokemon. There's a little bit of connection issues there. We were both trying to send to each other. Had to restart the app, but I cut that out so we can get right back into the battle. We didn't see each other's leads, so you don't have to say like somebody had an advantage. But we do have the favorable lead here, Shiftry versus Raichu. And he switches out, brings out his Lucario. We're going to use our Leaf Blade to bait the shield. And then we're going to switch out of there, trapping him into a bad matchup against Hitmonchan. Something that we learned from the Claydol video. Don't bring out your Claydol against Lucario. Hitmonchan does much better. If you had a Toxicroak in that spot, bring out your Toxicroak. Counter does better than Confusion or Extrasensory in that spot. He's going to bring out his Raichu, knocks us out with a Thunder Punch. No need to shield there. We want a quick switch into our Shiftry to swap trap him before the switch clock burns out. He then brings out his Toxicroak. We switch to our Claydol to do 4 times effective damage with Extrasensory, and we knock him out before the 2 shields were used up. That was a very quick game, and that's how things can go whenever you just bring counter after counter after counter in this Nightmare Cup battle, in the rock, paper, scissors type battle. So, like, if you bring a rock and they bring a scissors, you're going to knock them out or they're going to switch. If they switch, you bring out the counter to them, and you're just off to the races at that point. You're going to be beating them down one Pokemon ahead at a time, and that's going to be how a lot of these games end up going. So in the next game, we're going to lead off with Hitmonchan. He has some favorable matchups against the opponent's team. Hopefully he leads off with an Alolan Raichu, because that can give our Shiftry some troubles and also give our Claydol some troubles. But he ends up leading with his Spiritomb, so this is a bad lead-off situation. But I make a read here. Can you guys pick up on it? I'll give you a couple of seconds to figure it out. He's only running Shadow Ball. He does not have access to an Ominous Wind, which is an expensive secondary move to buy. But since he can't shield bait us, we actually win this matchup, where some people would think, oh, you lose to that Ghost. You could handle it with Hitmonchan. He's actually in a really good spot with that power-up punch. Now we're just going to throw off our Ice Punch to burn that shield on his Chimecho. Should he have shielded that? Maybe, maybe not. Because here he's going to get off a Shadow Ball, which doesn't do much. I think I would have saved that Shadow Ball and just switched out to our Toxicroak. And you're going to see in just a couple of seconds why I say that would have been a better move. Because here we get to throw off our Gyro Ball. And if he had that Shadow Ball, he would have knocked out our Claydol right there. And we finish off game 2 of round 2. So good game to BloodDragon. He didn't have much practice. He didn't, get to run his team a couple of times. I think with more practice, he could be a very formidable foe, because he does have the Pokemon to take down a tournament with that Spiritomb, the Alolan Raichu, the Alolan Raticate, which I'm actually looking for my team, and the Chimecho is another great Psychic type that can use Shadow Ball. But here we go into round 3. This is for the tournament. The winner of this round will win it all. We're both 2-0. We're up against one of our closest friends, Taylor, who I actually met at the trading card tournament. And we have one tomorrow, too. So good luck to him in the trading card tournament tomorrow. And he's 2-0 in the Nightmare Cup. We've practiced a couple of games, and he's going to lead off with the advantage here with his Skuntank. We're going to switch over to our Toxicroak, and now we're in a situation that we've found many times for our opponent. Switch trapped in with our Toxicroak, which is actually not that bad, because you'll die fast, bring out the counter to knock out their Psychic type, and then they will bring in a counter to you, but then at that point, hopefully the switch clock is opened up so that you have mobility. And so we're going to knock him out. We had to shield his Focus Blast, and he wanted to shield twice on his Hypno with the Mud Bomb and the Leaf Blade just to get off that Focus Blast. So I think he over-shielded in that scenario, but if he could have gotten off 2 Mud Bombs here, we're done. It's a Alolan Raichu against the world, and can he take it down? Wild Charge crunch? No crunch. Wow. That was a close one, guys. If Taylor was able to get off a second Mud Bomb or just a crunch on his Skuntank, we would have been done for with our Alolan Raichu. So it's a very good close game. I think if he had not shielded the Mud Bomb, he would have been in a better position there to be able to shield either the Wild Charge that we threw off or one of the other moves that we used in the later points of the game. But here we go into game 2, and we actually said in the battle, this is a game of chicken. So who's going to use their charge move first? Who's going to switch first? And I threw off the Mud Bomb. I think he should have just shielded and stayed in, because now he's trapped into a bad matchup. And here we're going to try to do off the same strategy. Use the Leaf Blade to stop him from using Focus Blast, but he puts way too much value into his Hypno that, yeah, he didn't need to shield that Mud Bomb. He should have just taken it, shielded the Leaf Blade, gotten off the Focus Blast. I don't think he should have knocked us out that quickly with his Toxicroak. I think he should have tried to slowly build up energy on us, because we weren't going to get to a charge move very quickly. And now he's shieldless with a Skuntank against Claydol, and that's not good. Good game. We finally got the nuke off. Our Claydol finally got to do what he was brought to the dance to do. He knocked out Toxicroaks, and he finally got a nuke off. So, very good game to Gyarados 11. Good game to BloodDragon. Good game to Nasuda. And good luck to him in his regional tournament. He's a very good player. If you see him in Cincinnati, make sure to say hello. Good luck in your guys' Nightmare Cup battles coming up. If you liked the video, please give it a like. Subscribe if you like the channel. Give us any kind of advice. This is the first video at 2x speed, so give me suggestions down in the comments. If not, Curb21 signing off. See you in the next video. There's my team. Used 5 of the 6 Pokemon. Goodbye.